Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to flip the script on the negative and the unwanted. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from one of you who said, Tom, I understand that it's not good to react to negative events, and you've talked about this. But what do you do when the negative person is right in your face, or the negative event is right in your face? How do you not react? I always get drawn into it. And I'm just wondering if you could talk about that a little bit more. Well, guys, we're going to talk about this today and more. And here's what I want to say. And it's so simple and beautiful, but stop taking the bait. That's really what it's about. Remember, you're going to be provoked by these situations, right? Not consciously, unconsciously, right? It's when you wake up and you become aware, you're no longer going to take the bait, right? It's these negative thought forms, these what Vadim Zeland calls energy pendulums that kind of pull you into it, and then you give your energy to the very thing you don't want to give your energy to. Right, that you want to get rid of, and it sucks it out of you. Now you've sapped your power and intention to live in your wish fulfilled, to create your desired reality. Hear this, right? You're taking the bait. There you are, steam coming out of it. There's the bait. You see it. You latch onto it. The bait's happy, right? That's you. Wake up and remember, it's the game of life. Play the game. Right? And if it's a negative energy pendulum, that we'll talk about pendulums in future videos, but think of this energy thought form that's swinging, and it swings harder as you take the bait, right? Instead of feeding it your energy, if it's right in front of you, swing with it. Play the game. You're going to slow the sway as you observe, as you become the observer, as you don't get caught up into the negative situation, right? Break the rules by no longer reacting and having a knee-jerk reaction to negative events, people, and circumstances. Break the rules of the game, right? And don't resist your emotions, and don't fight your reactions, right? A lot of times it's because we resist our emotions. Remember, it's not the event that's causing you this negative reaction, though we think it is. It's not the negative person right in your face. It's your relationship to it. Hear this. That's the cause. The cause of that emotion, the cause of that reaction, the cause of feeling negative is your relationship to the person or to the event or the condition, right? Don't fight it. Instead, choose your relationship to it. Whatever is happening, that's the cause. Play the game. Hear this, it's about choice again, right? It always gets back to, remember, your emotions are the effect, but they can quickly become the cause of more negative events as you get caught up in this negative circumstance, right? And so it's always your relationship as the cause, what's within you. It always comes from within you. But then as you have those negative emotions, those become the cause of more events. That's why things go from bad to worse. Right? Your relationship to the 3D world is the cause, right? So let's talk about this a little bit deeper. Have fun playing with your conscious awareness. Have fun waking up. Allow yourself to go unconscious once in a while, right? That's okay. But then wake up and have fun with it. Understand that it's a game, right? You can look in the world mirror and just say, I hate what's going on. I don't want it in my life. Oh, and the world mirror is going to say, okay, I'll give you more of it. I'll give you more of that, right? That's what if you're going to take the bait, the world mirror will show you more like that, right? Remember, you're always looking into the world mirror. When you react to 3D, you take the bait. And you're seeing your own inflated importance in the mirror. Hear that. What you're seeing in the mirror is your importance. You are tying importance to that negative event. That's important for you to get rid of. Remember, when you react to that negative event, that means you believe in it. And when you believe in it, you create that reality. Hear this. right? It's not even about ignoring it so much. It's about being indifferent. because you give it reality when you give it your energy, when you give it importance. Right? You're defending. A lot of times things happen. You think that negative event's an attack on your self-worth or on who you are as a person, right? And so you defend yourself with this importance. So when you're looking in the mirror, you're just looking at importance, right? And so you're inflated importance, right? So don't give excessive meaning to the game. Right? Play the game, but don't give excessive meaning to that either. Have fun with it. Right? Swing with that pendulum, that negative energy. And then you're going to still the sway as you don't give it importance, as you don't allow it, that you don't give it your energy, right? Be okay with losing once in a while, right? If you go unconscious, if you do react, don't beat yourself up. That's part of the game. The game isn't about winning all the time. The game is about playing the game and knowing, hear this, that you're playing the game. That's what the game is about. We think the game's about winning all the time. And so when we don't win, when we go unconscious, when we do react, we beat ourselves up and then we lose more. Do you hear this? And all of that energy that you're giving to that negative situation, here's the real important part of it. It pulls you away from your dream. It pulls you away from your desire. It pulls you away from what you really want. It pulls you away from your inner heart's desire. Right? It takes your attention off your wish fulfilled, what you really want. And now you're all caught up in that negative pendulum, that negative energy, that negative event. Right? Don't give excessive meaning to anything. Right? Be okay with losing once in a while. If you get upset or react, think about it as you win some and you lose some, but always return to the conscious awareness that it's just a game, right? Don't take the bait. Because when you take the bait, you're looking in the mirror. What does the mirror say? I'm going to give you more things to take the bait on, right? Have fun with it, right? And so remember, you're always looking into the mirror. Right? And what are you seeing? Inflated importance. You're placing importance on that. You're giving it reality. You're giving it your energy. And you're giving it and you're sapping your energy of intention, your pure intention, or your pure desire to imagine your wish fulfilled, to live in your desired reality. Right? You're giving all your energy to an undesired reality, all of it to the unwanted. Wow, that's big. Right? So when you do fall unconscious from time to time, do not give yourself an ultimatum. This is big here. Because a lot of you write, well, I'll never let that happen again. Well, as soon as you say that, I'll never let that happen again, what does the mirror say? Oh, we'll see. And immediately gives you something that it happens again. Because you're giving it an ultimatum. That's a form of resistance. You're setting up your own trap. Right? Instead, just be indifferent. And then it won't happen again. And it will happen less and less, right? That's a form of resistance whenever you give yourself an ultimatum, right? You beat yourself up, you give yourself an ultimatum, and then you fall in the trap again. And then you beat yourself up some more and say, I'm never going to let it happen again, and then you fall in again. And then you seek out more gurus, you seek out more YouTube videos, you seek out more books to try to make it not happen again. Let all that go and just don't take the bait. Be indifferent. Choose your relationship to the mirror. Choose your relationship to the negative events. Choose your relationship to the world. That gives you ultimate control. Your reactions to these provocations move your attention away from your true desires. This is big. It moves you away. It drains your energy of intention, right? Your intention to have what you want without the wanting, without the longing. Right? Without the needing it. And if not brought to conscious awareness, will move you to unfavorable lifelines or scripts. This is what Vidim Zeeling calls an induced transition. It moves you to an unfavorable script as you react to it, as you stay and get caught up in those negative events and want to be right, want to improve your importance, want to prove your worth. Right? Don't want to prove that you're not guilty of anything. All of that moves you to unfavorable lifelines. That's what's called an induced transition, right? It's not scary, guys, because you can change this anytime. In any now moment, you can turn it around as you wake up, right? So don't be provoked. Don't take the bait. You give your energy away to these negative thought forms. right? And then you have nothing, no energy left to move to your desired reality, to imagine your desired end, which that is the only thing that matters, right? What you want. When you are aware and unconscious, you allow yourself to fall under the influence of when you're unaware. Okay, I did that. When you're unaware, that's an important distinction, and unconscious, you allow yourself to fall under the influence of these negative thought forms, or what Vadim Zeland calls pendulums, right? But they're essentially energetic thought forms, right? That one thought attracted another, and then all those thoughts got together and made a club, a pendulum club. And remember, no thought's your own. So when you're thinking something, you're locking on to some thought form, right? And the negative ones are very attractive. Right. We'll talk more about pendulums in the future, but just think of them as there's one negative thought, then another, and then they all get together and create this organization, this pendulum, and it swings back and forth trying to get new participants, right? New people to participate in that negative pendulum. We'll talk more about this, but remember, you lose your freedom of choice, although you believe you're still making your own decisions. When you get caught up in these negative thought forms, you get caught up in the script. Hear this. Remember we talked about the script. You get caught up in the script. You get caught up fighting the script, fighting the negative situations. You still think you're making decisions on your own, but you're making decisions as influenced by those negative thought forms, as influenced by those pendulums. You're still controlled by the script. You're moving on a script you did not choose and a lifeline that you do not want. We've talked about this, right? Remember that you are in a wakened dream and you have become accustomed to reacting to negativity events and conditions. In this wakened dream of 3D world, right? We get used to, we think reaction is the proper response. That's what everybody does. That we're supposed to protect ourselves. We're supposed to attack. If you're punched, you're supposed to punch back, right? This is what causes that pendulum to swing more and get you more involved into its web. It's like a spider web. The more you fight it, the more you get caught up in it, right? Now, with awareness, you can respond in a manner unexpected. Hear this. When you respond unexpectedly, maybe you laugh, maybe you have fun, maybe you use humor, right? Anything like that is unexpected. You still the swing of those negative thought forms of the pendulum. It wants you to react. It wants your energy. Right now, you're reacting in a manner totally unexpected, right? Bring humor to it. Right? Swing with it and then observe it, or bring humor to it, or react in what Vadim Zeland calls in an inadequate way. An inappropriate reaction is not getting caught up in that pendulum, right? Not fighting it. That's big. So when you change your relationship to the events, people, and circumstances, whatever's happening in 3D, and become dispassionate, enjoy the game, no longer react negatively as is expected, now you're receiving energy versus giving it away, and it feels good. Hear this, it's so big. When you change your relationship to the events, when you become dispassionate, when you enjoy the game, when you no longer react negatively as expected, now you're receiving the energy versus giving it away, and it feels good. Now you have even more energy to move to your desired reality. Now you're going to move to favorable lifeline after favorable lifeline, right? Guys, that's a payoff, right? That's big. So instead of being ready to fight, being tense, being stressed, being protective, right, being provoked, instead, change your relationship to everything. You decide, you make the choice. Now you're relaxed, you're open, you're indifferent, and you're empty of importance. Right? You're empty. You're no longer giving that importance. You're no longer giving your energy. You're carefree. Right? Here's the pendulum. Imagine the pendulum swinging back and forth, right? These energetic informational thought forms. Here's the thing you do. You drop the importance, be indifferent, and then react in an unexpected and inadequate manner. That's the way, right? Once you do that, swing with it initially. If it's right in your face, swing with it. But then drop importance, be indifferent, react in an unexpected and inadequate manner, and then it stills its sways. That pendulum is no longer provoking you, is no longer sucking that energy of intention out of you, right? This is big. So we'll talk about pendulums in the future more. When you never get, okay, you will never, here's what I wanted to make a point of, because this is what we have a habit of doing. You'll never get rid of a negative situation by reacting to it and trying to change it. Why? Because when you do that, you believe it's real. And when you believe something, that becomes your reality. When you assume something, that becomes your reality. When you try to get rid of it, you're saying it's real and it has a place in your reality. When you react to it, you're saying it's real and has a home in your reality. When you try to change it, you're saying it's real and it's part of who you are. It's part of your reality. Wow! Whenever you react, you're saying that's a part of who you are. Can you hear this? Right? Because you are reality. You create it all, right? Reacting, fighting becomes a negative attachment, right? Now you're attached to it negatively, right? And then you use all your energy trying to get rid of it. You're attached to it. You want it off you, but you can't get rid of it. It follows you around wherever you go, right? So don't oppose, compose. Compose your desired reality. Right? This is the message. Don't try to avoid anything. Let it be. Accept its right to exist and then pass it by with indifference on the way to all you desire. We've used plenty of examples on this, right? Instead of trying to get rid of something or push it away or thinking that it doesn't have a right, let that negative situation, reestablish your relationship to it, and pass it by with indifference on your way to all your desires. Like we talked about the museum example. When you go to a museum and there's art that you don't like, you don't go to the art director, get that out of here, I cannot stand that art, and only put in the art that I like. No, you just go to the next room. You go to the next mansion, right? As Jesus talked about, right? There's, in my Father's house are many mansions. Go to a different mansion. Right? You don't have to sit in that mansion. If the situation is in your face, use the gentle dodge. This is what Vadim Zeland calls the gentle dodge. Right? Play the game consciously. Observe. Be a participant. The gentle dodge is you swing with it a little bit. Right? If there's something that it's a work situation. It's something that maybe your boss or superiors want you to do, and you really think it's the wrong way or the wrong path. Swing with it. Listen. Do it. And then you can lightly suggest a better path instead of fighting it and say, no way, that's not the way. Go with it. And then insert your, like we said with your script, quietly go up to the movie projector and insert your preferred film script, your preferred script. Right? That's big, right? Swing with it. Get in the habit of remembering this is big. So guys, what happens? Why do we go unconscious? That was your question. Why? What happens? Why do I get unaware and I get caught up in it? Because you need to get in the habit of remembering what you know. Think about all the videos we've done together and everything we've talked about. Get in the habit of stand in your knowing now. Get in the habit of remembering what you know about reality creation and who you are and who you really are. When you do, that is how to flip the script on any negative or unwanted situation. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen, our website at tomkaren.com, at BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Guys, with great love and great light, see you soon.